Morning, everyone. Welcome to the briefing for Wednesday, the 20th. Okay, looking at the chart, this is the midday one. Main feature today really being showing this warm front on here. Centered, it looks slightly to the west of Lasham at midday, so probably arriving at maybe mid-afternoon. But what that does mean is, whilst it's quite a bright start at the moment, the weather will probably slowly deteriorate throughout the day. It does look like this is a relatively weak feature, as the rest of the forecasts aren't showing particularly much deterioration, and they're not really showing much rain associated. So hopefully we should be okay. Moving further ahead to tomorrow, the main issue being how tight these isobars are together, and that looks like we're going to have quite a strong northwesterly flow, and it could be that the strength of the wind stops us flying. Moving further ahead into Friday, similar picture really, maybe slightly lighter winds. Spot winds today, it's showing pretty strong at height, 35 to 40 knots, about 285 degrees, so slightly north of west. And the current south peak, yeah, it shows a fair amount of cloud. It looks like there's a bit more to the west. It's quite hard to pick out on this infrared one, but generally it's going to be cloudier moving in from the west. Rain radar shows a few little bits of drizzle out to the west, which we may end up with later in the day. Although rainfall forecast isn't showing it moving too far our way, but it is going to be getting generally more damp and lower cloud as we go throughout the day. You see it's showing some close to us around midday, and going into the afternoon, it is showing it to be clear of us, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did get a few spots of drizzle. Public forecast then showing a sunny start with a bit more cloud through midday and then heavier cloud into the afternoon. Top temperature of about 9 degrees and a pretty stiff breeze from the west, increasing into the afternoon, but notably quite strong, albeit straight down the runway. Humidity sat quite high at around 90% all day. Okay, at midday, GFS is showing temperature of about 9 or 10 degrees, with dew points set at around 6 or 7. They're showing the same for the temperature at 3 p.m. and dew points ever so slightly higher at about 7 degrees. And that's currently outside. Quite nice at the moment. I should think that cloud is high enough that it's not going to cause us any problems at the moment. Odium's TAF, few at 4,800 half an hour ago. I think they've broken up for Christmas because we've got no TAF from them. Farnborough, similar, they're showing broken at 4.2, which is probably a bit more realistic. And their forecasts for most of the day, scattered clouds at 2,500. We've also got a prop 30 in here from midday onwards for strong winds from the west. We're expecting that. Broken clouds of 1,400 and light rain. Okay, top meteo showing the best part of the day to be about 9 a.m. And as you go through the morning, a little bit of lower cloud potentially around, but nothing that's going to stop us flying by the looks of it. Now this is 1 p.m. and you see the lower cloud and drizzle moving in from the west, but it's not showing it actually getting to Lasham. So we could get away with it, albeit it's going to be a little bit more miserable into the afternoon. No NOTAMs today. And operationally, we're set up on 2.7. I suspect we'll be quite busy. So we're going to go for a normal operation with the winching on the south side of the runway, despite the slight northerly component. So we will need people to correct to the north on the winch launches. I don't think it's going to be too much, but please a little bit to the north. Aerotain will be from the north side of the runway as normal. We'll have the launch point further in because I'm assuming with the amount of rainfall we had yesterday, it's probably very damp out there and will remain that way throughout the day, as I doubt the sun will be getting to the ground very much. So that will be south side circuits onto the main runway and north side circuits onto the north side grass only. Very important that if you're doing a north side circuit, you do not land on the runway so we can avoid a conflict at the end of the base legs. So south side circuits only onto the main runway. Please come to a stop well before the launch point and just pull the glider the rest of the way. But a pretty standard wet weather setup otherwise. No movements that I've been notified of. Canopy misting may well be an issue, certainly as we get later into the day if it gets a bit more damp. Please don't hook on before lowering the canopies. I've seen few people trying that. It only saves a couple of seconds and it's not really worth the risk. And if for some reason we do get stopped flying, the simulator is serviceable and there's some lights in the back of it now that light up the buttons for the instructors. Okay, it should be a reasonable day. See you out there. Bye for now.